Hey everyone, if you scan the environment today, the jobs environment today, you'll see that there are a lot of opportunities in digital marketing and areas like big data, uh, Hadoop, etc. Right now, yes, a lot of these jobs are going to be uh, are going to be fulfilled by college graduates, but that's not going to be sufficient. An overwhelming majority of professionals who are in traditional careers like sales, retail, BPO, software engineering, etc., have will need to make the switch to the more modern careers like digital marketing and big data, and that's bound to happen. So this video is really about a few tips which will help professionals who are in traditional careers move on to the more modern career options that are available today. Right, so we've broadly looked at three phases. The first phase is of self assessment, second, of exploring the options, and once you've kind of zeroed down on what the options are, career options are, then of course it's about preparing and going towards closer to towards your goal. Self assessment, extremely important phase, and this is where you would identify what is it that you do and do not like about your current job. Now, why is this important? This is important because the next job that you take, you should not be doing something which you absolutely hated, right? Because then the chances of excelling in that are going to be quite bad, right? So identifying what is it that you like. So for example, if you are in a working in a retail counter, so perhaps you like the part where you're interacting with people, and you really love the interaction that you have with people who walk into your stores, but you don't like the back end work, for example. That's how you need to analyze what exactly do you like or you don't like. Similarly, in the case of sales, if you don't maybe you like the interaction with people, but you don't like the constant travel throughout the day, which kind of saps your energy and doesn't leave you with energy to do anything else, right? So that's these are the things, these are the questions that you need to ask yourself about your current job before you think about what kind of career options suit you. Next is assessing your interests and your personal values, which is really what is it that you would be able to do better than someone else. And this is not an easy question to ask, but you need to do that. So these are it could be number crunching, it could be interacting with customers, it could be uh, working with Excel. So you need to really understand what are you excellent at, and what can you do better than most people around you. At the same time, you need to understand your personal values and interests. So these are things like what activities were you drawn to when you were a child? What are the new skills that you have learned rapidly and mastered? Right? What are the what are your strongest character attributes? Right? What do you do especially well? So these are the kind of apart from understanding your strength, these are the kind of uh, questions that you need to ask yourself with respect to your interests and personal values, because you have to be able to articulate it yourself before you are able to articulate it to your potential recruiter. Transferable skills, this is always in our experience, this is always underestimated by professionals who are making a career change. There are quite a few skills which can be transferred to the which are which can be transferred to the next job that you're taking. So, for example, if you are in the stock market and you have a flair for numbers, now that same flair for numbers can be used when you're doing reporting in a digital marketing environment, or it can be used when you're doing bidding for paid ads in a search engine marketing or digital marketing environment. Or if you were working in a automobile dealer environment, you have a lot of knowledge with respect to the latest brands, of course, but you have a lot of more importantly, you have a understanding of the various factors which influence a person's decision to buy a car, and that can be used very effectively when you're making landing pages for a website, or you're writing ad copy. So these are things which can be transferred to a new career. Right, so after you have kind of assessed yourself, then you move on to the exploration phase, which is researching on new options. Now, today, a lot of the new career options broadly fall into two buckets. One is digital marketing, and this is for people who are in retail, sales, BPO, and more general management. These kind of these kind of positions. And the other option is career option is with respect to artificial intelligence and big data and machine learning, and this is for people who are currently in largely for people who are currently in the software services or IT field, right? So this has been a general trend, and this is likely to continue in the coming few years, right? Then you have to look at, so after you have to look at look at your own network and find out people who work in the careers that interest you. You can start following them, you can start connecting with them, and you'll understand what kind of content do they share and what really do they do in the jobs, right? So this is important because you have to get a sense of the practical day-to-day stuff which happens when you're working as a digital marketing manager or a big data professional, right? So sometimes there is a lot of hype and which clouds these areas. So you need to uncover this and kind of move directly to what it entails when you are working in these kind of professions. The last phase of preparation, which is one of the very useful, underutilized skills, is networking, which is the kind of the people that you've identified. You have to start and try and reach out to them on. I mean, there is of course LinkedIn, which is a great social media platform where you can connect with others, right? And training and education, absolutely important. I mean, either you can go to an online school or a classroom course, right? Or you just do it yourself, right? Whatever the route, the fact is that you have to get through a formal training program so that you can imbibe the concepts in the shortest possible time, and you can ask the difficulties that you have to the faculty. And the last among the last points is the job search, right? And here it's we believe that this is you'll have to look at job search differently, which is you will need to draw up your own list, right? So for just coming back to the example that we had, if you have been working in a stock market environment, then maybe and after that you've done a digital marketing course, then maybe you have to make your own list of companies who are in financial services and who would be benefited by your previous domain knowledge of stock markets, right? So you need to make your own list, and there are a lot of opportunities, but you need to make your own list rather than go to a job portal and try and do searches there, because then you'll be missing out on a lot of opportunities. You'll have to make your own list and reach out to these companies, and a lot of cases companies may not actually put their requirement on portals like Naukri and Time Jobs, but if your profile is interesting, they will call you for an interview. Right? Gaining experience. So, a lot of the times, you hear this common complaint that recruiters are asking for experience. So they will ask for experience, and the way to do this, fortunately, if in the case of digital marketing or big data, the good thing is that all these can be done remotely. You don't require any software licenses. So side by side, as you're doing your job, you can try and gain experience on freelancing platforms, or some contacts that you have. The people you're following on LinkedIn could help you gain some experience, right? So that 3 or 4 months of experience is going to be very useful in searching, in getting the kind of job that you want, right? So that's about it, and best of luck in your journey towards modern careers. Thank you.